Hello, this is Barbara Taylor Bradford, and I want to talk to you for a moment about my first novel, A Woman of Substance, which was published in 1979, and this year, 2009, celebrates its 30th anniversary. It's amazing to me that this book has remained a bestseller all of those years. It still sells all over the world in 40 languages and 90 countries, and it's never been out of print. In fact, this is a book that is amongst the top 10 of the biggest selling books of all time. Now, when I started the book about Emma Hart, the little servant girl in Leeds, who in fact becomes a woman of substance, I had no idea at all that this book would become what it has become, because I just simply wanted to tell a story about a young girl who becomes a young woman and decides she wants to make a better life for herself and her child. She's a single mother and she wants to do for her child what no one has ever done for her, and so she starts out on a career. Now, I just wanted to tell a good story about this woman, about her adventures, if you like, about the man she marries, a second man that she marries. One of them is killed in the First World War. I was telling a woman's life story, actually. I had no idea that Emma would become the great role model of the 20th century for women all over the world in so many different languages and so many different editions. When I was writing the book, I worried rather a lot. I kept thinking, well, is this book too parochial? Most of it's set in Leeds and Yorkshire and London and England. Of course, I did have parts of Australia in the book and also America, but basically it was set in England and a lot of it in the north. As it turned out, it was my French publisher who set me straight. He said, don't be silly, location doesn't matter. It's the character that matters. And within an hour of reading this book, Barbara, you're caught up with Emma Hart. You want to know what's going to happen to her. You want her to win. You start to root for her. You want her to have all of the things she has set out to obtain at the beginning of the book. And he said, you know, don't worry about location. It doesn't matter. My British publisher once took me to the warehouse because I'd said, why do people so love the book? As I looked around that warehouse and saw them stacked up, I asked that question again. Why do people love this book? And at that time, the head of the company was a man, and he said to me, well, people like to cry. And I said, no, you don't really mean that. You don't mean that people like to cry. You mean, well, they do cry when they read the book, I suppose, in parts. But what he meant was people like to be touched emotionally. They like to be caught up. They like to be empathetic towards the main character. They root for her, as the French publisher said. So you do get caught up with Emma and her life. And I guess when I sat there years ago writing that book and worrying about it, that I was doing the right thing, I suppose, when I was thinking, would I feel if this happened to me? She goes through many struggles and there are really many setbacks in her life, but she does cope. And I suppose that is one of the reasons, coping and succeeding and, in a way, winning against all odds. Those are the reasons. That's the reason. Those are the reasons why A Woman of Substance succeeds as a book, and why it has been this all-time favorite. If you haven't read it, I hope you do. I hope you read the anniversary edition or the anniversary paperback that is coming out. It's sold over 31 million copies worldwide. So when I get a bit down in the dumps, when I'm writing a new novel, I think, well, I did it with A Woman's Substance. I guess I can do it again. Thank you.